Hello, this is Dread, and in today's video topic, we have breaking Last Epoch news, and that's going to be the content roadmap for the next year's worth of content. So we have cycles 1.1 all the way through 1.4, and this is going to be all of the new stuff coming for Last Epoch for probably the next roundish year, right? So let's go over and talk about this roadmap. So the first part of it here, we have, of course, the pinnacle bosses. Finally, we're getting big content, like big bosses to finally pit our characters against, right? And that's going to be fun. Hopefully, there's going to be enough of them to keep us busy all the way until the next cycle. We're also getting random encounters called Nemesis. I have no idea what this is. They don't talk about it, but it's probably something related, like kind of like a ambush mechanic or something like that. Then the last thing we're getting in 1.1, of course, on top of all of the patch stuff, new items, balance improvements, stuff like that, right? We're also getting an evade dodge roll. So that means that these bosses that we're getting, like these pinnacle bosses, they're going to require you to actually do mechanics, which means, of course, they're going to be a lot tougher than the normal content that we have access to. So like, for instance, tier 4 Jurla is kind of like a mini boss in comparison to some of the bosses that we're getting, which is cool. That's great. That's what we're getting next cycle. And of course, we're probably going to get a lot of bug fixes as well, as they talk about in this post. But the next thing that we're going to get in 1.2, which is the cycle after, we're going to get the next story chapter, of course. We're going to get some endgame events, apparently. Primal Hunt endgame events, whatever that ends up being, and Primordial Unique. So that's going to be cool. That's going to be some fancy stuff there in that cycle, probably. By the way, I believe these cycles are all just coming with new content as they come out. They're essentially a new season. So you'll have to start fresh whenever you make a character, right? So that's like whatever. It's just a new cycle. The next one, Monolith of Fate expansion. Finally, we've been waiting for this for a very, very, very long time. Like, we've been waiting for the ability to actually have more endgame, and this on top of the pinnacle boss stuff is going to make the game significantly more fleshed out than it currently is. So thank God we're getting this. So this is about 2 cycles from now, so about like maybe 6-ish months from now. And unique false echoes, I've been actually talking about this a lot, how it would be cool if they would add more unique echoes, kind of like the memory of chaos and stuff like that. So it's nice that we're getting more of that. And new procedural side zones, I don't know what that is. That's probably something like Vol side areas or something like that. Who knows? And the last cycle, the one that has me excited the most, is introducing skill sigils. So this is probably going to end up being a way of advancing your skill and adding more skill points. As you can see in the little graphic here, it's actually adding more skill points to the skill, so you can actually change the skill significantly this way. So that's going to be very interesting. That's going to make plus levels to skill a lot more important. We're also getting the transmog system. Thank God I can actually make my characters look good. And of course, even more endgame bosses. Now, on top of all of this, of course, there's going to be a lot of other things like balance stuff, dungeon improvements, bug fixes, the normal stuff that would come with these. I don't know if we're getting cycle mechanics or not. I believe we are getting a cycle mechanic for 1.1. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll see. But hopefully the pinnacle bosses should be good enough, though. Now, one thing that I want to add as well, at the bottom of the forum post that I will be linking, there's actually a poll on when to release the pinnacle bosses for offline and legacy realms. The reason for this is if you're in offline or if you're in legacy, when the content drops, right, the new bosses drop, this means that you're going to have a significant advantage over people who want to play in the cycle. And of course, if you want to seriously take the cycle grind seriously, right, you're probably going to load up Last Epoch and offline, hack it in, and be able to just, edit your save file and go and do those pinnacle bosses real quick and showcase them. So they're talking about, hey, what do you guys want? Do you guys want us to delay the pinnacle content? Do you want us not to delay the pinnacle content for offline and legacy? I am all a fan for delaying it for maybe a day or two at the very least, so that, the people who are playing on the new cycle have some time to actually learn the new bosses and stuff, as no one wants to get spoiled of anything, right? And Like, who knows? But if you disagree or agree with this, I would heavily suggest going down in the description, going to that forum post, and going to that poll at the bottom and tell people what you think with the poll, as EHG has been opening up a lot of their decisions to the community because they're like, hey, what do you guys think? So that's definitely good. So to wrap it all off, we're getting a bunch of content over the next year. We're fleshing out the game significantly with pinnacle bosses, right? We're getting in-game events. We're getting the last story chapter, primordial uniques too. I don't know what those are. Monolith of Fate expansion that has me the most excited, and then even more skill stuff with the end game, with the skill sigils. So with all that being said, this has been Dread. I'm off to go do something else. Bye.